Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Kevin Lee Show. On today's episode, we are going to be reviewing the movie Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets, if I remember correctly. And on today's panel, we have been joined by someone we haven't had in a while, and his name is Scott. Say hi, Scott.
Hi, Scott.
And John.
Hello.
And Witness Protection Program, Chris.
Hello.
That's not too creepy.
Wow.
Anyways, so
Go ahead and get the kids out of the room. The show's about to start.
So as is our custom, we're going to talk about the trailers that appeared before the film. Is there anything you want to discuss at all before we start or no?
Just a couple of quick reminders. We've just, since we started doing these, we'd really appreciate feedback. Especially if you see something that annoys you, you don't like. Let us know. If you have an idea for a topic or we're missing something, or we're making like glaring mistakes that are making you punch the wall at home, please let us know. Any feedback we get is great. It's fun, it's new, we're enjoying the hell out of it. But we like to hear back from people, and also, once again, just a quick update on the GoFundMe video. I continue to want to thank everyone that's donated. Scott here has donated. Everyone that's helped me out and made a bad situation better, and just by sharing the videos. If you just continue doing that, it's all I can ask. And I'll actually be doing an update video in about a week and a half with the stages of my cancer and treatment and where everything's at. Maybe sooner than that, depends. I'm in the middle of radiation treatments right now. But once again, I just want to thank everyone that's helped out. And end of the show.
Sounds good. So, like I said, we are going to be discussing the trailers that appeared before the film. And I believe we saw all of them, or at least most of all of them. The first one we saw, at least two of us saw, was the... Oh, God, what the hell was it called? Oh, Birth of the Dragon, right? The Bruce Lee film. I believe that was the first one we saw. I didn't see the entire trailer, so it's kind of hard to talk about.
No, I walked in right as the trailer started.
Okay, so you saw more of it than I did.
Yeah,
I was about a half a minute.
You didn't really miss anything.
Okay.
So what is it, like the making of Enter the Dragon documentary kind of film thing, or is it a story of Bruce Lee at a certain period in his life?
I think most of it's fictionalized, but it's about Bruce Lee. It's called Birth of the Dragon. It's about Bruce Lee starting up his career in Hollywood.
Right.
Okay, so does it go back to the young Bruce Lee and like Asia, and like the whole?
Yeah. Yes, it goes back to the young Bruce Lee. How much of it's real and how much of it is?
Or Hong Kong. I guess it was Hong Kong.
I don't know a lot about them. I don't know
film.
if they fictionalized it all, or they just went, well, here's a story idea and let's just roll with it and made it up. It could. We'll see. I know they made. This is the second attempt at a biography at him.
Could be.
Oh, probably even more than that.
Right.
Yeah.
To say it's serious attempt in like the last 10 years. There was another one not that long ago.
That reminds me. You know that movie I love? They Call Me Bruce.
Yeah, that's an awesome movie.
I want to see that again.
I know.
The Bruce Campbell movie?
No, there's a movie, They Call Me Bruce. It's about this kind of
it's like a parody type thing where you think he's Bruce Lee, but he's not.
Right.
I vaguely remember.
It's like a low budget type movie.
That sounds like a terrible 80s.
It is a terrible 80s
So,
movie.
okay, yeah.
Yes.
But let's not get too far off track.
There was a lot of terrible 80s Bruce Lee movies. Return to Enter the Dragon, where they have like a hologram of Bruce Lee in the movie.
The only karate films that matter from the 80s are the American Ninja films.
Dude, awesome, right?
Michael Dudikoff, and there's also the
Who's that chick that was in those movies?
Cynthia Rothrock.
Wait, Dudikoff, isn't that the guy who came back to Illinois and he was living like in Round Lake or something? And he tried to open up a dojo there?
I believe he did.
Yeah. I heard something in the news. I don't know.
Dude, didn't he committed suicide right after he moved down to Florida or something?
Did he kill
No,
himself?
I don't believe so. No,
I don't
know. No. No, I believe he is still alive.
What is the guy's name?
Michael Dudikoff.
Was he in Jim
look
Cotta too?
No,
Was that
Jim.
the same
No,
guy?
Yeah,
no,
that
no.
was.
Jim Cotta is Jeff Speakman.
Yeah,
There's two entirely different people.
That guy was cool as hell.
No, he wasn't. He was terrible.
a gymnast.
He was the perfect weapon.
That's right. He was.
He was the perfect weapon, and he made a film called Jim Cotta.
Yeah.
Where for no reason in the middle of alleys there are parallel bars where you could do flips and kick the enemies in the face.
I think that's the guy I'm thinking of that lived around
He
Lake.
should.
Yeah,
he should have killed
Legs
himself.
Zurich.
Legs Zurich.
Yeah,
Zurich,
Jeff Speakman, if you're alive, go ahead and do it. just end it. You topped out.
Oh, because he was like a gymnast, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's
that's
his thing.
That's what it was during
Yeah.
the Olympics. They had brought him up and stuff, and that's what it was.
Wow,
Yeah.
did this go off course fast?
That's only because I can't remember the second trailer,
I
and I'm
know.
trying to buy time, and I left my book upstairs.
Oh, I got it.
Okay.
What was?
Why did you just say so? The second film is Daddy's Home 2 again. Once again,
We're not reviewing it.
starring Will Ferrell and John Lithgow, and a racist piece of shit, and an even bigger racist piece of shit. That
I missed both those.
well, you really didn't.
I came in at the Girls 3 movie.
Well,
We'll get there.
Oh, sorry.
we're just this is the fourth time in a row we've seen this trailer now. It's
And it's the same trailer.
the exact same trailer. They haven't tried to cut it. Anything for something different? I mean, I can't wait for this fucking thing to come out and just go away.
Exactly.
Much like Dunkirk. Although Dunkirk seems to be doing very
But
well
that-
financially.
That
and
came out, right?
I-
last
Dunkirk
week.
opened up last
I would
weekend.
like to see Dunkirk. Have you seen it yet?
No, it just came out.
Yeah, we should see
But-
that because
well-
I like Tom
Hardy?
Yeah, Tom Hardy very much.
I don't like the director, but I at this point, after some of the films we've seen lately, I give it. I'll give it a shot. It's a war movie. How bad could it be?
That's true.
It's really hard to screw up a war movie unless it's got Nick Cage in it. Then it's a piece of shit. Did you see he made the Indianapolis movie that's been on Netflix
Oh, I haven't seen
about
that.
when they go in the water with the sharks? It's about the shit that remember the movie Jaws when Robert Shaw's giving the speech about being on the Indianapolis and they get 2 torpedoes slammed to the side and
Yeah.
they're all in the water for like a week waiting to get eaten.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the movie.
I
Nicolas
see.
Cage is the captain of the boat.
That's terrible.
And for some reason, poor Thomas Jane is in there for like a minute and a half going, what the fuck am I doing here? But, yeah, it's a 2-hour blast on Netflix.
Wow.
Seek it out, kids.
So what came after Daddy's Home 2?
Pitch Perfect 3.
Yeah. Pitch
Oh yeah,
Perfect 3.
God. Let's. And it's the same one again. It's not even a new trailer.
Well, that's a newish trailer, though, so that's not that unusual. It's only like, maybe a month old, so.
That's all we gotta say.
That's
Dude,
about as good as
we're
the movie's
not
gonna be.
13-year-old girls, so we're not gonna watch the movie.
I'll watch the movie when it's on.
Okay, I want to. What the hell is
I
appealing?
won't go to the theater for it,
Okay.
but I'll
No,
watch
I know,
it.
right?
What's up with Anna Kendrick?
Love her.
How do you
people
not
like
find
her?
Anna Kendrick?
Because she's cute and she's a redhead.
She's not.
You're right. She's a little thick in the hips, but she's cute.
I didn't say anything about her hips.
She's
I
not thick
did.
in the hips. She's hot.
I don't know. She's got a.
She's a little blocky.
She's I
She's
don't know.
blocky.
Yeah.
Anna Kendrick, she's like 108 pounds.
I know. She's still blocky.
She looks like Tweety Bird to me. I just don't like her. She's got a big head and a skinny neck,
Yeah.
and so she's got some.
You know,
she's got that hook
she was really
nose and-
good in like Scott Pilgrim and.
She's barely. She was in Scott Pilgrim for 20 seconds. She's got 3 lines. She was not good in it.
What she was. Yeah, I don't know. She was a little in there a little bit more, but she was all right.
It must be a young guy thing. I just don't. I don't find her appealing, and I don't like her.
I think he's
acting.
attractive.
I don't like her acting. For one thing,
The movie where they go to the wedding in Hawaii, I can't remember the name of it.
Oh, Mike and Dave need wedding dates or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, that's
that was
it.
terrible.
Fucking great movie.
Terrible.
I
Fucking movie.
laughed through the whole thing.
I laughed once.
I didn't think it was terrible, but
The scene with the I can't even remember his name from Silicon Valley. He's got the big sick out.
Yeah.
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 I still have no idea what you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah, I would
Yeah,
like
I'd
to
ask
see the
Chris,
big
but
sick.
the show will be over for a week before he finds it.
I know. Right.
He's like a Pakistani Indian
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
comedian.
that guy, the lead.
Yeah,
of the movie.
He's
Yeah.
got a couple of Netflix stuff too, and I think a series on it.
He,
too.
his scene in that film was funny,
Yeah.
where he plays that
Oh,
masseuse.
yeah, okay, that was
That
funny.
was the best part of that whole movie. That movie's fucking awful.
Was he in Outsourced too? Was he on? Do you remember that show? Outsourced?
No, I don't believe
that
so.
was
I don't really watch
That was
television,
pretty
so I'm a
funny.
bad person to be
Yeah,
asking.
no, I don't either.
Okay,
I worked 14 hours.
so
Pitch
that-
Perfect 3 still looks stupid.
Yeah, horrible.
Definitely to me, Chris.
I mean, it's a cable movie. I wouldn't see it in a
Yeah,
theater.
it is a cable movie. That's all it is.
Right, it should have gone straight to video.
Well, the last one did like $100 million. So
Yeah, you're right. They're gonna make another one after
okay,
this one, too.
then we have Dark Tower again.
Again.
Dark Tower. Remind me. What the
It's a-
hell?
You
it's
were
a-
there.
It was
I
the one
did,
based
yeah.
off of the Stephen King movie. It's
yeah,
where the gunslingers and the little boy.
Oh
who-
yeah.
Idris Elba
Yeah,
plays.
completely unrealistic.
As far as
Oh, were you looking for realism in a movie called The
where are
Dark
you going
Tower?
with
No.
that, Scott?
With Matthew McConaughey
Hey,
playing
dude,
the devil?
all I know
No, but he's
is
worse than the devil, don't you
If there's
remember?
ever a porthole opening to another dimension in front of you, do not go through it.
Ever.
Unless they have candy.
You know? And if God asks you to do something, it never works out for you.
Anyway, yeah. Oh, because Kevin's making eating a dick signals. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Okay.
We were talking about Dark Tower. This is like the third or fourth time in a row we've seen Dark Tower. Based on Stephen King series of novels and short stories, all gathered into 8 volumes. Now, the word out of Hollywood, we talked about this last time, it is apparently a sequel to the books.
Oh, so it's not
Sequel.
even what the books are about.
No, it's a sequel to what the books are about, apparently.
Even though there was like 8 books.
dude,
Yes.
They still had to make a
kinda-
separate one for a movie.
And it's only an hour and a half long.
Seriously?
Jeez.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's because they
yeah.
cut the hell out of it
They-
because it was terrible.
I have no idea how this thing might be a gigantic train wreck.
I do like the throwing the bullet things in the air and putting them into the gun. That's kind of cool. I hadn't seen that before.
It's gun kata. It's fancy.
Yeah, gun kata. That's it. Good. Nice.
At one point, we do have to review Equilibrium.
No, we don't.
Yeah, we do.
That's your show. That's the Chris show. It's 4 hours of you just touching a picture of Christian Bale's face and talking about guns.
Equilibrium.
Oh, don't
Let's not
start.
do
No,
that.
no,
Let's
no,
not go
no,
there.
no, 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 no. Don't go.
This is a movie?
No, it's not a movie. It doesn't exist.
Yeah, it is a movie.
No.
We're not
There
going
is no Sean Bean here.
Don't feed the animals.
Okay.
Okay, Dark Tower. Anybody want to see it?
Yeah, I
I
want to
would
see
see
it.
it, yeah.
Scott? Scott doesn't even know where he is.
Okay, so going on.
I'm still shell shocked.
And then we have Kingsman, the Golden Secret
Again.
Circle again.
This
You
is like,
know, I would say go on Netflix and watch The Watchmen again instead of watching
Watchmen's not on
Kingsman.
Netflix.
Yeah, it is. I
No,
just watched it.
No, it's on
not-
demand.
It's on demand. It's not on
Oh,
Netflix.
you're right. It's on HBO.
right.
On demand HBO. Great. Director's cut.
The director's cut's 4 hours long. Are you
Yeah,
sure you
it's-
saw the director's cut?
Yeah.
Is it
was
really
on-
that
I'm
long?
pretty
Yeah,
sure.
because they even put from the graphic novel. There's an entire pirate comic book storyline wrapped through it.
Wow.
If that's not in it, you didn't see the director's cut.
I didn't see it yet. I didn't know it's on there. It says director's cut
Yeah,
on
I
there.
watched
There's a
the-
longer cut.
I
That's
fell,
like an extra
I fell
half.
asleep through everything. I'm
The
sorry.
regular cut on Watchmen's about 2 hours,
Yeah.
2 hours, 45 minutes. Director's cut's like another 45 minutes. And then there's the ultimate cut, which has everything in it.
Well, this is just
which
the
like
director's
No,
4
cut,
this is
hours.
the
so-
director's cut.
So you probably saw, you saw like the 3-hour cut then.
Yeah.
Which
Pretty
is
gritty.
It's a great fucking movie. I love
great.
Watchmen. It's a-
Superhero.
I gave it a 10 out of 10.
Right.
Yep, no, it's a great movie.
Right, and then the guy that has the mask is the guy that plays
The guy that
Freddy
plays Night
Krueger.
Owl? Or
Yeah.
wait, which
Oh,
one?
the white
Rorschach?
face.
Rorschach.
Yeah.
Rorschach.
Rorschach.
It's
Awesome.
Jackie Earl Haley, yeah.
Yeah, he kicks ass.
And he
Bad
played
News Bears,
he
baby.
played Freddy Krueger in the Nightmare reboot
Yeah,
as well.
he did.
He's in a lot of stuff. He shows
was
up.
good.
He's a good actor.
Yeah, no, I always liked him. I even he was in that basketball movie with Will Ferrell. He's
I never
the-
saw it.
Semi-pro?
major-
Semi-pro.
There you
He's the
go.
one that makes the 3-point
I've
shot. and
never
then
seen it.
You just got to get paid.
I'm not allowed to see the movie. Destiny will not allow me to watch it. So
You should watch it.
no, it pops up and then like the power will go out. I swear, I'm not allowed to see the movie. I don't know what happens. I've never seen it.
It's like those. Oh, God, what the hell's those movies called? The one where you. Shit, I just had the name in my head. The one where you escape death and death comes after you.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
But it's like the reverse.
It's,
Where,
it's
Yeah.
reverse Final Destination.
Yes.
There we go. Final Destination.
I'm
Okay.
death chasing that movie.
Right? Dude, don't ever watch that movie. That's your last day if you watch that movie.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Well, it's like, because you know how they have those other ones and the death is
Well, it's not
trying
The
to
Ring.
chase- Well,
You're thinking of The Ring.
But even with the
but
ring, you
every
have
time
7
you
days
go to
left.
watch it, it doesn't. Something happens.
I'm already dying. What is the little bitch gonna do?
Well, I'm saying if
Drag
you
it
watch
out?
it, no, it's not going to drag it out. That'll be the
She's
day.
gonna be. Well, you're gonna die in 7 days. I was coming anyway.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, are we done with that?
All right, on a happier note.
Hey, wait, we're not done. We forgot the final film.
Humor is the
No,
best
that's what I
part
know.
of
That's what
life.
I'm saying.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
No, I don't know what it is.
Geostorm.
Oh,
We
Sure,
finally
fine.
know what the Weather Channel commercial's about.
Yes. Yeah, and we all agree that
Geostorm.
it should just go be
Back
on.
to being a weather commercial.
Right, and it should be on the Sci-Fi Channel after Sharknado 7.
but see, what you didn't notice, it was actually sponsored by Al Gore.
See, I told you.
Well, Al Gore has got a weather dominator.
You've just been fucking with us the whole time.
It's from what we could gather, humans have found they devised a satellite system that controls the weather to keep us safe from shit
Climate
falling
change.
Right.
Climate change and everything.
And then the New World Order uses it to their advantage.
Whoa. Can I finish?
Yes.
Can I get my dick sucked?
No.
All right.
Where's the shot?
Just throwing it out there.
Get a few more drinks in me, buddy.
God, this is getting dirty. No, it's got Gerard Butler from 300. And the
And from
Olympus Has Fallen in
and
London. London Has Fallen, which are they're making a third called Angelus Has Fallen? Or Angels Have Fallen. I guess it's in L.A. But I'm on drugs.
So are
L.A.
do they like save the president
In the first two films, turns out they did.
Yes.
So now he's
Is
gonna.
the angels falling? Is it?
So now they save a movie star?
So, well, yeah, they're going to do a third one of those. But Gerard Butler's a star. Apparently, he is our top weather scientist.
Something like that. But he's like on an international space station or something now.
There's a shuttle and a space station, and things get wacky. And apparently, Cobra has taken over the weather dominator and it's attacking Earth.
Cobra.
So I think it's
Joe.
I think it's G.I. Joe 3, and they're just keeping it under wraps. Which is, my God, that would be amazing if Snake Eyes just pops out for no reason.
Right.
Sure. Absolutely.
The movie looks really stupid. Really stupid.
They
does.
freeze like Pakistan.
Was that in there? I missed it.
Yeah, no. So in the beginning, what they did is they said like that was the first sign that something was wrong.
There
Like
was
this
a
thing
malfunction.
malfunctioned. So they were gonna like shut down the entire system because they're like, oh, we can't have this happen again. It killed like an entire country of people. And of course, it's like Pakistan, somewhere in the Middle East, where it's normally really hot.
Right.
So that was kind of all right there, buddy.
Yeah, I'm fine.
So no, but it was. And I think they gave so much away in the trailer. Like you don't even need to see the movie now. All you need to know is how it ended up. And it's only going to go one of two ways. So really, you got a 50-50 chance of knowing the outcome without even going to the movie.
Yeah, between the teaser and the first trailer, it escalated quite quickly.
Yes.
Yeah, isn't it scary that they do that? I mean, what's the point of seeing the movie? You're gonna watch the movie in like 7 minutes.
You gotta learn. You've really got to lure in stupid people, though. You got to give them the eye candy. They won't show up if there's just a story. I don't want to see a story. I didn't come for a story.
Dude, I have trouble watching more than 3 minutes on my Facebook at one time. So, so when I go to a movie, like that would be the perfect movie for me. Just 7-minute movies.
They're called YouTube videos.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Chris, any thoughts on Geostorm?
Belongs on the Sci-Fi Channel at 3 in the morning after Sharknado 22.
But it's got Gerard Butler, who I actually like.
Doesn't mean it's a good
is there
movie.
anybody else in
It's
there?
cheesy.
Did you see any other stars in there besides him? He's the only one I noticed.
I'm trying to think
Chris,
now.
look up Geostorm. You got the goddamn IMDb.
Was that blind?
The one who was
Kung
playing the
Fu
daughter
guy
wasn't
in there?
anybody that I knew, but she was young anyways.
No, there was one other star playing the president.
Oh dear God, no, Geostorm. Look it up right now.
We're not talking about Morgan Freeman.
For fuck's sake, man.
But see, that's the thing too about with movies like that. When they ruin the movie for you, it's still okay because all these theaters have seemed to do now is they converted all their theaters to these nice luxury seats.
So if you fall
So
asleep,
even if you-
it's no big
We'll
deal.
we'll get to the luxury seats later.
Andy Garcia's in it. He plays
the
the president.
president.
That's
Yeah.
what I was referring to.
But you
He
didn't
is
say
a
his
bigger
name or
star.
what role he was playing. Who else is in it?
You got Ed Harris. You got Abby Cornish.
Ed Harris is in that?
Which
I have no
guy's
idea what
Ed
he does.
Harris?
You got Jim Sturgis.
Is he
You
the
got Robert
Remember those
Sheehan?
blind kung fu movies?
No,
Is
that's
that-
not him.
No,
it's
he's
Rutger
in the-
Hauer.
Oh, yeah, what? Rutger Hauer's in the movie we just
Rutger
watched,
Rutger
right?
Hauer is in the movie we just slept
Which was
through.
a surprise.
Yeah.
And not really. His name was in the credits.
No, but I didn't know he was in
I
there.
didn't
I
know
can't
either.
believe Ethan Hawke just showed up in that movie for like 6-7 minutes.
Okay, can we wait till we get
Okay,
to the
sorry.
movie? So there's Ed Harris, Abby Cornish. Anybody else?
No one that I'm recognizing. I'm
Just
going
read
through the whole
read the
cast.
next couple of names. Just okay,
Like I said, Robert Sheridan. It's got a Tabitha or Talitha Bateman.
Any
Mayor
relation?
Wilmingham.
Mayor Winningham. Yeah, you don't
Jason
you know who she is.
Bateman?
I don't recognize her.
She was
The
in
name?
St. Elmo's Fire. She was one of the 80s Brat Packers.
That's
kind of.
great. It's got Danielle Wu. It's got Alexandra Marie Laura. It's got Zazie Beetz.
What? Excuse me?
Zazie Beetz.
That's what we thought you said.
Zazie.
I will now be referred to as Zazie Beetz.
No,
That's your
seriously,
name's taken.
that's
The
like
name's
that's
taken.
That's fucking awesome.
That's awesome, right?
We're all Zazie Beetz.
Yes.
Welcome to the Zazie Beetz Show.
Zazie Beetz.
Dude, I wonder if that's on our birth certificate.
Is it a man or a woman?
Yeah,
gotta be a
no,
man.
let me zoom in on the image and let's see.
That's fucking amazing.
Yeah,
Zazie
no,
Beetz.
that's
No, that was the last
It
trailer.
is a mixed race chick. She looks hot, but
Why did you have to throw the mixed race thing in there?
I'm just saying to give you an idea of what she
How do you
looks
know
like.
she's mixed race?
Okay, she's a
Now
beautiful
we-
shade of mocha.
nice.
I
Zazie
feel
Beetz.
uncomfortable now.
Yeah, dead air.
It's your show and you feel uncomfortable?
Fucking
So,
white.
anyways, we should probably.
Fucking honky.
We're already at 22 minutes. We should probably get to the movie itself.
Yeah. Well,
sure.
believe it, Scott and I's portion of
On
the review is going to be
that-
fairly short.
No, this is the funny thing. This is what I was going to tell you. That's why I think you you guys should give your version of the summary, and then I'll go back and fill in everything you missed
Okay.
Are we giving
you
our-
go first? You want to
our-
go first, or I'll go first?
Of the movie?
of the movie. What you
We'll
remember
give
of the
our
movie?
account of the movie, and
Yeah,
then,
and then I'll-
Chris and Kevin will fill it in.
Correct. That might be funnier that way.
Because they're referring to the fact that we fell asleep during the movie a few times.
Several times. For
I know,
long
and like I
periods of
totally
time.
missed the Rihanna dance when I fell asleep, dude. I'm bummed out.
But from
Which I'm gonna say, not the best camera angles on Rihanna in that movie.
but what was the movie about?
All right, so they're like what futuristic sci-fi. They build a space station in outer space, and they add on to it, and add on to it, and add on to it, and then it becomes so big that it's starting to affect the gravitation of the water flow of the ocean. So they have to move it further out, and they take it to some other
Galaxy.
galaxy. They go that far. They don't just
It's
take it.
pretty far from Earth.
Yeah, they like take away out there, and then eventually they meet, more and more Americans, Russians, Soviet Union, Saudi Arabia ends up there,
Aliens.
and then we start seeing these funky looking creatures, and then we end up with 22,000 planets. Is that what that was the name of this movie?
1,000 planets.
1,000.
It's called Valerian in the City of 1,000 Planets.
Yeah, 1,000 different planets.
So I guess if you were 1,001, they just went fuck off.
Right.
They rounded
Get
down.
out of here. The coolest one was the fish tank people.
Oh, like in the belly?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was all right.
I miss so much.
And then
That was in the beginning, John.
So then there seems to be this other group, very pretty, perfect looking creatures, shaved heads. They give some type of. They seem to have like pearls.
They're called the Pearl People.
Pearl people, right? Washing up, like they wash their hands in pearls.
Really?
They wash their face in pearls. Their armpits, and then they have this small creature that they give a pearl to, and then it like poops out 1,000,000 pearls.
He's not kidding, folks.
There was pearl poop.
And like that little creature is like turns out to be like the one most important thing in the whole deal. You'll find out later. And then there's another dimension. They find this other dimension, and these two cops,
Yeah.
federal cops, what space cops?
Human,
Yeah.
Human Alliance.
Federal agents.
Yeah, Human Alliance. What? Human Alliance?
I think it's what it's called, Human Alliance.
Yeah. Then I guess this is all spoiler stuff.
No,
by
it is
the way.
all spoilers. And as it says in the title of the episode.
Then so they like are going to get this small creature in another dimension in a huge what's the good word? What's the Middle Eastern word for like where you do shopping and stuff outside shopping?
market?
Yeah, it's not a market. There's a better
Cesar or
Yeah.
yeah,
But it was
that's
actually
closer.
called a market.
Yeah,
They called it.
did-
They called it a market in the movie.
But what your brother?
A bazaar.
A bazaar.
Bazaar, right? So like this bazaar is in another dimension. He goes there. He has to put his hand in this funky box that takes him into another dimension, and then he goes and steals a thing, and of course, there's a malfunction, and he's half in and half out.
That was the first like 8 minutes in the movie.
I think I fell asleep after it. No, and then she saves him. And
who is she, by the way?
Yeah, what is her name?
Cara
Delevingne. What?
Delevingne.
What else is she in? I think
she was in Suicide Squad. She played the Enchantress.
Enchantress, right? And the
yeah,
the scientist.
And yeah, she did. And the worst archaeologist ever.
Right, and then I think I remember seeing her when she was younger in a few different.
Yeah, she's like a model, and I mean she's in all these things. So.
But she speaks in this one
quite well, actually.
Dude, I think she has the best eyebrows in the business. If you ask me, she has got some sexy eyebrows. Yeah, you go, girl.
Different strokes for different folks.
John, you want to build off of that a little bit?
Yeah. Okay. Here's what I remember.
It was light.
Scott's pretty concise with what he's mentioned. They needed a pearl. There's some parallel dimension they can zip in and out of partially, see and not be seen, but you can only affect things in one dimension and not the other. It's interesting. Now at the beginning with the planet with the pearl people, they were attacked, correct?
Well, it turned out later.
Well, let's get to the later part. Let's get to what happened as was introduced in the movie.
But they were fighting something else.
Scott.
You know we're doing spoilers, right?
Oh, well, okay. Yes, the question, but go ahead.
Apparently, to me, they looked like they were attacked, and the princess was left to die.
Correct, and it did seem that way. That's the way it was portrayed.
Okay. Yeah, and then there's the two agents. There's Major Valerian, played by Dan DeHaan, and Sergeant Laureline, played by Cara Delevingne, and then Major Aaron Fillett, who's Clive Owen.
I still don't know who that is, but yeah, I recognize the name though.
Shoot 'em up. The movie Shoot 'em up.
That was a great movie.
You know Clive Owen.
No, I'm sure.
Oh, he's in Sin City. He played Dwight.
He's British, right?
Yeah, all day long.
Yeah.
But he was the commander.
Yeah, his career's not going well.
His career's fine. Let's not comment on poor Clive Owen's career right now.
So
yeah, but that's right. It is poor.
Okay, so
do you want to describe?
No, can I please finish?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay, so Valerian and Laureline are on a mission. They have to retrieve this pearl that was going to the black market. They get the pearl, get back to the Human Alliance, of which they are agents of. For some reason, Dan DeHaan is a badass pussy fiend and has a wall of trophies that he can show at any time just to piss off his girlfriend, which is actually kind of genius.
She brought it up.
Well, she brings it up.
She
brings it up, and apparently he wants to marry her because he's found his one true eyebrow queen.
Yes.
And they're given a mission, and this is about halfway in, or about a half hour in, and this is where things got bad for John. Because the seat got real comfy.
Yeah,
and the medication did too.
Good seats in Barrington.
And John took a bit of a nap for about an hour and a half. And woke up with 3 minutes left in the film.
Though we attempted to wake him up. It wasn't like we didn't try.
I could have been in a coma. You guys didn't even give a shit.
I hit your arm. You looked up. Your eyes
It's
opened
a
up. And you
dark
adjusted.
theater.
You seemed happy.
You were there, but you weren't there.
I was gone.
I was dealing with my own sleeping.
So I have no idea what the plot of the film was after.
No, I'd be more than happy to fill in, but
Yeah.
Scott, you saw more of that because you went out a few times, but only for a short period of time.
Yes.
So you just fill in what you remember.
I have no idea what happened after that.
All right,
so it's all you, buddy.
So what? Then they get back in the ship. Oh, so the magic school bus shows up in the movie at some point. You know, from the cartoon series.
I was thinking the same damn thing when I saw it. I was like, "This is the magic fucking school bus."
Yeah, it is. So then they escape out of. I thought it was kind of cool that they shot the thing with a dart, and then they were able to take like its physical control over. That was kind of cool.
It was like a mind control thing.
Yeah.
Many people might be confused about what you're talking about because
why?
There was a different.
They
creature.
shot a guard in a tower
Well,
with
there
a
was
dart
the guard
and were
in
able
the
to
tower.
control it.
Right.
Yeah.
The magic school bus people,
Right.
shot the guard in the tower, and
Right.
took him
I'm
over.
just trying to put this to the filter of someone who hasn't seen the movie.
And it looked like
they'd
a
be
school
awfully
bus with
confused right
rocket
now.
engines
Yeah.
from the 1970s.
I watched it. I was confused.
And at this point, I don't think you were watching at this point, were you?
I did see that scene. 'Cause That was
Okay.
still early on.
So then they end up back in their initial ship again, right?
Well, they do the mission. That was all during the first mission.
It was all during the first mission, and then they head back to like headquarters to get.
And that's when we see the blind ninja guy. What is his name?
Rucker Hauer.
Yeah, Rucker Howard.
That
for
was
the
way
first
before
time.
that.
I was gone by then.
Oh, I thought he was back.
He
on
was in
it.
the very
I-
beginning
He
of the
was
movie.
in the show. Oh, all right. And then they split up, and he goes off and ends up in some weird dolphin underwater device, and he shoots. Well, what do you call that thing? It's
I
like a
don't know.
dolphin submarine looking thing, right? Isn't he like in a killer whale or something?
No,
Like a
Flip
big
it.
none
ship.
of that ever happened. What the hell are
What are
you
you
talking
talking about? He's tethered to it, and he gets all smashed all around.
That's way on. That's like another half an hour.
All right. So then I fell asleep for the first time. Go ahead and fill
Okay,
in.
so between those two gaps, they get back. Oh, let me switch on me. So they get back for the from the first mission. They're back at headquarters, and then they've been told that there's a second mission that they have to do. And what that mission entails is they have to work with the commander who's in charge of this post at this city of 1,000 planets or whatever. Because inside of this facility, this giant facility that houses like 100,000 or no, 30 million people or 30 million species or whatever.
Alpha is the name of the facility.
I'm sorry?
Alpha.
Yeah, Alpha. It's almost like a small planet type thing. So
Large
what
moon.
they've done is they're notified that there's a small quadrant with inside in the center of this facility that is a what do they call it? Do you remember,
A
Chris?
radioactive zone.
Well, but there was a name for it, like a dead zone or something. But anyways, they say it's radioactive, and that they've tried to send people in there, and that the people never came out alive, and that they're going to send these two experts with some of these guards and the commanders to kind of go in and find out what's going on. And that's kind of when everything gets haywire, and that's when one of the guys tries Valerian, and that's when the point we were talking about, where he's doing a chase trying to follow this ship who had just. Oh, actually, no. Before that, actually, I take it back. So before they're about to do this thing, they're at a meeting, and during the meeting,
Can I just say, even though you watched the movie, you're as confused as Scott
well, no,
and I.
because I'm trying to fill in the gap between. But
Yeah.
then I'm missing the spot. No,
No, you're on it.
So hold on. So there's a meeting that's being held with all the leaders of this human alliance.
Stupid name.
And all of a sudden, the wall blows up, and these creatures come through, which had been the ones that had been on the planet originally. That they're tall, little, lanky, sparkly people, and they have these special guns that shoot people and cover them with ooze.
Oh, yeah,
and they go unconscious and they're just covered and they can't move.
What's the spider thing he sticks in his mouth? That was kind of weird.
That was weird. He puts this thing in because he knows what's about to happen, so he puts this device in his mouth and he gets hit, and then after he's on the ground, it opens up and this like mechanical spider comes out and crawls down and then puts like a knife through the top of this barrier that's covering him,
So he can
and
breathe?
actually cuts through, and then so he can get out.
That sounds
and then
amazing.
He cuts. Yeah, it is right. He had
Sorry,
the
I missed
foresight
it.
to know what was going on.
Yeah, they're
How
little,
convenient.
they're both
But-
a little James Bondy.
Yeah, sure,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
So at this point, this is when they split up because he's going to go chase after these people, and she's going to go back, take everyone back to headquarters, and see if they can figure out what's going on. And then it's when he gets involved in this chase. He's in a bigger ship. He's got to go into a smaller ship, which is like a little jet thing, he calls it. And
Yeah.
that's when he's talking about where he's like, all thrown around. He's not in water. It's just in the air.
When does he like run through the walls in his?
That's the same scene.
Right now, doesn't he like jump through a wall and end up in that water world? How come the water
Well,
world?
he does for a short period of time.
But why didn't the water world drain into the world that he jumped through the
Right,
wall
because
from?
he is physically busting through these barriers, so physically that water has to start coming out and falling,
Right.
draining that area. Space vacuum has to be sucking out the oxygen when he busts outside the
Right, and then he goes through the other side of the water, and he's in like a desert world. How come it didn't drain the water into
because
the
no,
desert
he's going
world?
through different like areas and portals going up
Yes.
and out. But they're not.
Oh.
It's not underwater where he's going. He's coming from above, going into the water, coming back out.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
but it showed him going through the water. He's got like jets on his
Yes,
boots that
no, but he
propel
went
him.
into the water, and there's going to be a little hole, and some will go.
He
But
busts-
we're talking billions and trillions of gallons of water
But he
within this
still
thing.
is
And
destroying
I think that
worlds.
suit's better than Iron Man's suit, because I don't think Iron Man can just bust through walls.
It was
like
pretty
that.
impressive. I must say.
Yeah, the physics were pretty BS.
Yeah, I want one of those suits.
Yeah, if you're a physicist, this is not the movie for you.
Yeah, and then he ends up. I don't understand how he ends up outside falling. Then he somehow he's able to just like swim back into the thing, back into the. Well, remember how he's outside and then he's falling in outer space?
Yeah. At one point, he actually went outside of the facility.
And then they open a thing up, and he like, how does he get back in?
That was a spaceship.
His own spaceship that follows his voice commands called
ALERTS,
the Invader.
I think it was the AI that runs his spaceship.
I fell asleep for a second.
But in and out.
I saw it, but I fell asleep at the same time.
Yeah. So
yeah, we did.
I think I had popcorn
and that's
in my
where the
mouth,
chase
too.
picks up at. So what did you see after that chase and after all that?
Well, then he ends up chasing in the ship, right? Like he's back in his ship now.
Correct, but then he has to separate from that ship because he goes into smaller space because it was a big spaceship they were chasing that they could have shoot this missile at, and all of a sudden it breaks up into all these little spaceships. And then they find out the one where the commander is being kept. It was very cool.
Yeah,
and that's the one where they found the commander, and that's why he chased that one. That one went to a smaller space, so he had to leave his big spaceship and go to a little one, so he could follow it through these little corridors.
And that was that little killer whale dolphin looking thing that he went in the water,
like a jet.
And then he got what? He had a grappling hook that he hooked to what?
He did to the back of that little spaceship he was following, and they started dragging him around. And he lost control.
It shook the crap out of him.
He just bashed him against the wall as well because it was a tight little space. So as soon as you get off kilter and you hit a wall, you're just going to start bouncing everywhere.
Absolutely.
And that's exactly what happened.
And then what? They didn't really finalize that scene. They just kind of ended it and cut to the next scene.
Because he went into the dead zone and there's no communication and they had no idea what happened at that point. Oh. They were confused because at that point they're cut off. They can't follow him. They can't see him. They can't track him. They just know he went in there. And that's when she stepped up and she wanted to follow him and they said no. So she beat up the guards that were taking her back to her quarters.
That was a huge facility then. That's a huge space station. For him to end up in the dead, so he ended up back in the dead zone in that ship thing.
Kind of, he was like on the border of the dead zone, but he had gone into it and then kind of got knocked around, and then he was on the outskirts of the dead zone.
Yeah, where'd the water go?
The water had ended a long time before that, Scott. I don't know if you're thirsty or what the problem might be, but it's totally good.
Whoa.
So, you all right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if we lose
I'm just
John,
hearing some voices right now, so just give me a second.
There are voices.
They weren't yours.
Anyways, keep sharp objects away from John. And so at that point, then she goes after to find him, and she is able to find him. She breaks away, gets free, because and that was when they had the whole jellyfish on the head thing. Remember that part, or were you asleep for that?
Yeah,
to recall
what did they imply that what
the jellyfish feeds on your memories?
That thing was
a patuha.
Yeah, right.
To go inside of it, yeah. It's not its mouth. It's. They didn't say what it was, but they were implying it was either its exit.
She stuck her head in that jellyfish's
something or another.
twat.
Yeah.
I don't know if that meant that, but okay, could be. Way
to class it up
I like
with
that
the T word.
Yeah. I didn't want to use the see you next Tuesday word.
And then this jellyfish, this magical jellyfish, can read your memories and refresh them for you. And can see other people's memories and knows where he was at. And she saw a number on a wall, and that's where she knew where to go.
Yeah, and what were those creatures? They were like a duck-billed
platypus.
Oh, the information trio.
Pigeon. Right?
She called them a pigeon. I don't know what they really were.
They're like a duck-billed platypus.
An alien race of some sort.
Sounds like I missed the hell of a
elephant
movie.
trunks for noses.
Well, there's 3 of them, and they're like conniving little, terrible little. I don't know what you want to call them. Like, trying to think of a word.
I know.
Like the Jawas from Star Wars.
And they're going to give you the information as long as you give them their value.
Exactly. As long as you give them the money, they'll give you the information, but they won't give you anything without money.
Yes.
No matter who you are.
Or some type of value.
Right.
You've been trading information.
So she got info from them, and that's where she found out what this whole magical jellyfish was. And then she found out the information she needed. She found out where he was at, and then they don't really even explain it. She just shows up to where he's at and finds him there.
I think they visionaries too. They their information seems to come from visions. They didn't really talk about it, and because she talked about killing one of them, and they're like, "No, you can't kill one of us. It doesn't work."
No, but because none of them have all the information. They each only have a third. So that way, if you kill one, you only get 2/3 of the information you need.
They share each other's memories.
Sure.
Duck-billed pigeons.
Duck-billed pigeons. So she finds him,
Platypus
and then all of a
pigeons.
sudden they're separated again. As soon as she finds him, she's taking custody. Remember with the butterfly?
Yeah.
fishing line. Remember that part? Okay, so they're right at the same scene where she literally saves him. She's standing over on the edge of this cliff while he's kind of coming to and trying to figure out how to fix his machine or whatever, or get whatever he needs out of it. And he goes, hey, she goes, oh, these beautiful butterflies. And he goes, well, that's great, but don't touch one. She goes, why? And he says, well, because sometimes they're bait or something. And I guess these big creatures up top have these butterflies they release down like on a fishing pole. And then they literally, which is
they were in Bikini Bottom?
So they attach to her and they rip her up and she goes up. So then he gets caught on purpose to go up as well. Then he like kills the people who caught him, the fishermen that caught him or whatever. She's taken into custody or to this certain no-go area of these one particular breed of these, I don't know, not monsters, but aliens that are just apparently no one messes with them and no one's allowed in there, no foreigners, no one except for these species. So they're treating her very nice at first. And then you're not thinking much about it. Well, by the time Valerian then who meets, and this is where Rihanna comes in. He meets Rihanna because he needs to get in there, but the only way to get in there, he needs to look like one of them, and she's like a shapeshifter and can do all these things. So she,
I woke up to right after the dance.
So he meets up with Rihanna's character named Bubbles, or Bubble, and then she disguises over him, and he's able. It looks like one of these creatures, so he's able to get in, and then they get to where there's a big feast is going on.
Weird ogre-y looking characters.
Right, I don't know if there's a name for them or not.
I'm back
but
in the movie now. I got it.
Right. So then at that point, what happens is they're into where this feast is going on, and they're not thinking much about it. And all of a sudden, they see Sergeant Laureline, who's all dressed up and dolled up, wearing this big giant hat, carrying a platter with these giant like lemons.
Yes.
You saw that part?
Yes.
Okay, so then she's walking down, and they're all carrying food before her, so she thinks that she's carrying food.
Right.
Well, she doesn't realize by that point that she is the food.
That device.
The head she's wearing is actually a large dish with
pretty cool.
A hole for her top of her head to go through, so they can wrench it open and eat her brains with the lemon.
Right. He was going to squeeze the lemon out of the brain.
Huh? Lemons are good on everything.
Could you imagine how that would sting?
You actually, you have no nerve endings in your brain. You wouldn't feel anything.
Yeah, but they'd be cutting open your scalp, so you'd feel that.
Yeah, that device was like, and then squeezing lemon on it. Oh,
yeah,
that would have sucked.
I like your whip sound effect.
Yeah.
So, and this is the point.
That's a clamp.
This is the point where Bubble and Valerian kind of come to the scene because they're in the room when this is happening to help fight for her. He takes the swords away from guards and starts cutting down all these people. Everyone runs out of the room except for all the guards.
He kind of is a little badass for like his little.
And that scene's amazing. He kills like 40 of these things.
Yeah.
No, I'm really sad.
And
I fell
the
asleep.
king.
All with swords. Like,
wait, does she kill the king through the head?
He does. He jumps up and he goes whoosh, and he slices. He does like a somersault in the air and he comes up on her and just takes off the top of his head and he slowly starts sliding off.
I always thought that was kind of cool.
And then his queen or whatever servant who had trying to been pleasing him and giving him all these different foods, she faints. But then
she was kind of a weirdo looking thing with like fuzzy hair, right?
Yeah, or something. She had like some type of weird crown or something that had feathers or something. I don't know. But but yeah, no. So at this point they're able to escape barely, and as they escaping it down to like this garbage chute.
Yes.
And then they come to. And then the
it's like a grate in the middle of the floor because another 40 of these things or 80 of these things come running after them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's when Chris was like, what is this, Star Wars? Like, that was like the first...
Did you say that, Chris?
That was kind of like a Star Wars-y kind of reference for them, like, ending up...
I might have, I don't remember.
In the New Hope.
Well, yeah,
but that is
Well, Star Wars that was renamed the New
garbage
Hope.
chute, really.
Not renamed, subtitled.
Filled with actual garbage.
But yeah, right. And then there were like creature bones and stuff, and she pulls like a squid out of her sleeve or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But this is a scene where you saw Rihanna and you were unhappy.
Well, right, because she goes from that jellyfish bubble thing back to Rihanna with like this total Egyptian kind of headdress and makeup on, and it's a total terrible camera shot of Rihanna. It's like from her chin up and terrible.
Not her best angle.
Not the best angle.
Well, I agree. I mean, I'm surprised they didn't shoot it more from like straight above or something,
Yes,
where you could see her face
she's
clearly.
Very pretty girl, and that was.
But she still looked fine. I don't think that was a
attractive
problem.
Shot. Bad camera shot.
Okay, so we're at that point, which is like just over halfway in the movie.
Yeah, and then I think I fall asleep.
Okay. Chris, you want to jump in here at any time or no?
No, you guys are pretty
Okay.
much covering most of it.
Right.
I will say in the beginning, though, when they're stealing the converter after the 1970s school buses with rocket engines driving to the bazaar, and they have to
Magic
go
bus.
enter another dimension because that's where the actual bazaar is.
Yes.
You know, it's kind of like negative space-time because the bazaar is like 1,000 stories deep and, you know, it's like 10 miles wide. But when you look at the circular area, everyone's, you know, watching, and that they've built this perimeter wall around. It just doesn't fit in that space.
I know, and it wasn't it weird how like the people were in the other dimension with the glasses and the everything,
Right, but you could still see
But
their
you
bodies
could see
walking
them
around.
walking around in this empty space
Exactly.
in the desert.
That is, yeah, that was.
Because you were seeing it in our dimension, not the other dimension.
Correct.
So they're in both dimensions simultaneously.
Absolutely.
But what's his face when he puts his hand
But
in the
didn't it
box?
seem like there wasn't that many
when
people?
Valerian puts his hand in the box with the gun to enter the other dimension, where the gun would actually be a physical object that would be effective against another physical object, you know?
Right.
When he's stealing the converter with that little pig animal, whatever it was,
Yes.
you know, his hand gets stuck in that dimension. So why couldn't you just completely go into that dimension, and then when it's time to leave that dimension?
Well, he was, but he was losing at that point. There was that
Well, no, he wasn't. Only
three-legged
his hand was with
beast
the
that
gun.
was chasing them. That ended up on their ship, and then falling back to the planet.
Well, that beast had to go through another bigger box that made him go through a portal to enter Valerian's home dimension so he
Right.
could chase the ship. It wasn't like he could just go and do it. He had to be transported.
Right, because you could buy these weird goods from the bazaar and bring them back into our dimension.
Yeah, and if in Star Wars, the Rancor is actually a little dog that one of the soldiers is holding outside the office of this, what was he, kind of a pig version of Jabba the Hutt or whatever?
For sure.
You know, the bad gangster guy who had the converter up for sale on the black market. Yeah, this little Rancor on a leash, you know, was
Oh, for
like
sure.
acting
And
like a dog.
And actually, the thing that was chasing them kind of looked like the guy that was giving them bread in the last Star Wars movie.
Give him the bread.
Yeah, you remember how she would go out and scavenge
Maybe.
parts and then bring it in and trade it for bread
Maybe.
and
maybe.
food?
He did look similar. I'd have to see a comparison picture of the two, but yeah.
But
he was similar.
and then of course this is the same guy that did The Fifth Element, right? This is the same director.
That was a good
same
movie.
writer?
But how did they end up making this?
Luke Besson or whatever. Yeah.
So very
Other
much in
ways.
the same imagery and same color spectrum and same wit on some of the stuff, I would have to say. You know, The Fifth Element is still one of the greatest movies ever.
Oh, shut your fucking mouth.
Hey, it was a great movie.
It's a great movie.
No, it's not. It's a terrible fucking movie.
Nah,
We-
dude, like when the hand of God
Really,
comes
Chris,
down.
that's
and
not,
then,
there's
yeah.
no hand of God. That's the
That's the
stand.
ship.
That's the stand.
That's the stand.
That's the ending of
Stephen
The
King
Stand,
movie.
The Stephen King movie. The Fifth Element ends with Bruce Willis. Remember, they're in this little pyramid. They light up the elements to stop the evil from coming.
Yeah.
And Lilu.
Yeah, but the big fat alien
There's-
ship with the electronic that the guys move side to side, that's the hand of God coming down to Earth.
There is no giant ship.
Landing. Yeah, it
That's
does.
not the hand of God.
Remember when the kids in there holding the mirror and they're like,
Those are
they-
aliens.
Yeah, those aliens. But those are the ones that were the God keepers, the
What was
stone
the
keepers.
final element was love.
Yeah, it was.
Okay?
Lilu.
And as we all know, God is love.
All
Wow.
you need is love.
No, Chris Tucker ruined that fucking movie.
He was funny after
No,
a
he
while.
wasn't
and then-
funny.
Yeah.
He was a fucking knife in my dick sack, is what he was.
Do you have a sack of dicks, sir?
Maybe.
I wanted to say I could dicks.
But a giant bag of dicks. I just keep it in the closet.
Dude, that's your next birthday present.
I think we're going to stop soon.
I'm not having a next birthday.
Bag of dicks for John.
Fifth Element, and we did talk about Fifth Element a couple episodes ago. It's a beautiful looking movie.
Beautiful.
The first half of it's
Colorful.
a lot of fun, and then Chris Tucker shows up and he fucks your world and destroys everything.
All right, well, let's leave Tucker out because there's.
Well, no, you can't leave Chris Tucker out. He fucked it.
So
He
it's like
literally-
Rihanna.
he
the
literally
Chris
lubed
Tucker
up.
movie.
Bent you over a table and said, "Here comes Grandpa," and he punched it all the way up until your colon.
Yeah. But the color and imagery is very similar to each other, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they should be. I mean, if you like sepia tones, enjoy that first half hour because it is brown.
Well, it's a city filled with smog and garbage.
No,
so,
we're not
yeah.
talking about Fifth Element. We're talking about the new one.
Oh.
Where it's the
But
half
if-
hour on the beach and playing with sands and
But that was
shitty
virtual.
pebble,
That was
fruity
not
pebble monsters and whatever the fuck was wrong. It's a
pebble monsters.
All right, so
You
we're
woke me up
already
out of a nap
at
and now I'm
52
cranky.
minutes, so we should probably start getting towards the end of the movie.
Well,
So do you guys realize that there's this whole theme running through the movie about getting her to a beach?
the fucker.
Well, no, he
What else
keeps
would be your
making a
goal?
reference to
To get her to the beach, to the best beach,
Yeah,
The best beach in the universe.
so they can go fuck.
Yeah.
All they want to do is fuck around on the beach.
Yeah.
well, he just
And
wants a
wha-
honeymoon, is what he wants.
And all right, so let's keep going. So where are we at now?
I have no idea.
No,
I don't have a clue.
Rihanna. That's where we were at. Bad
Oh.
camera angle on Rihanna.
Oh, we're beyond that. We're way
Okay,
past
so-
that.
She's dead already at this point.
So what happened after that? I think I might have fell asleep for another
Chris, what was
3-5
the next
minutes.
scene after that? So they... Did they go back?
No, they got that little creature to those people, and then they built the ship.
No, but what was between those two scenes?
well, the ship was already built that the what's
no,
left
but-
of the alien race
Chris,
escapes
what
it.
was between those two scenes? After they're leaving whatever the garbage chute where Rihanna dies, where did they go next?
They killed Rana.
I believe
She
the
dies. She gets
scene
injured.
shifted
That's- I
to
never even saw her
the
character.
military control room, where the second in command, the 4-star.
Did they go back there?
No. The scene shifted. The
Okay.
camera had these people on, and they were talking, going, well, these two people failed, and this radioactive zone is going to, take over the ship. It'll consume and destroy it, so we must destroy it instead. So, they sent a bunch of troops down, and then after, that's what happens after Rihanna dies, is that all these troops start massing up, the military's giving their people orders, and...
Well, right. No, I remember that, but I thought there was something in between there. I guess that there wasn't. So at this point, then Valerian and Laureline have actually discovered and found this in the dead
What's
zone.
left of this race of people.
Right, inside this dead zone, realize, and they get the full story from all these survivors finding out that they were survivors, and what actually had happened was that their home planet had been destroyed by this human alliance military had been fighting with this other alien race
And accidentally killed them.
It was a
yeah,
war,
right,
and it
that's
spilled
what it is.
over.
I think that's what is right. I think that statement's right.
He did not accidentally kill them.
Yeah, they crashed the ship.
Listen, they knew that those people were down there. They knew they were intelligent beings, and they knew that if they shot out this big giant ship, that it would crash down and kill the planet. He knew that.
The Owens character
The
made
commander,
the decision.
the commander knew it, and he did it.
anyways.
Yeah, right. He did it anyways, and that's
Yes.
kind of like the whole
Yes.
big deal of the movie, that he was this big military force, and because he was concerned about economics, he went to war, which caused this third world country or third world to be destroyed. Read into it what you like.
Island
but
people.
A third world.
that's what it was. It was like this little.
It was beautiful.
Well, no, but what they're saying is like it's like this off place, like in an island, like in the Bahamas. Like, yeah, we'll destroy them as long as we can save our economy. Who cares about them, sort of thing. It
Right,
was
but
like
it's
this
a
evil.
whole planet.
But it's the whole concept is that it's a political statement about our, how these westernized countries are when it comes to war and fighting for oil and things like that. They'll destroy and roll over anybody to save their economy or to make more money or whatever. That's kind of the underlying theme.
So it was a propaganda film.
It was, but it was done, which I don't mind. But it wasn't done that subtly. You know what I mean? Like they could have done it way more, a few notches down.
It was a little over the top.
A little over the top, because the speeches that that Carol Delevingne was giving towards the end about like how living in peace and doing all this and not worrying about the economics and not hurting people for gain and all that kind of stuff. Just it was a little over the top.
Right,
But-
we had a beautiful society that was living in peace and harmony, and then the humans came and shit on it.
Actually, it was more the evil white man. But yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
yeah, right.
Because all the evil characters were like white men.
Of course.
As one of the
As
evil
we
white
are.
men, I apologize.
Yes.
On behalf of all evil white men everywhere.
On behalf of all evil white men
Someday
everywhere, we're
there'll
sorry.
be evil yellow men and evil brown men and red men.
Alrighty.
Anyways, so
Everyone takes their
so
turn
at
being
the end,
evil.
to wrap this up because we're coming up to an hour already. At the end, what occurs is so previously, actually we didn't. I kind of mentioned it.
Wait,
but
and then I woke up.
Yeah, but previously, earlier in the movie, this alien race who had been living in this dead zone had kidnapped the commander because they thought he had this little converter creature.
Yes.
And when they knew who he was, and they knew that he was responsible for destroying the world and whatever. So he had already been there. So at this point, the two main characters, after being told everything from the alien race, wake him up and confront him about it. And at first he kind of tries to deflect, and then he kind of completely admits to everything, and then he gives his whole speech of defending evil.
Oh, yeah.
tactics.
Did he murder somebody, too, that was calling him out on it, right?
Oh, one of his like sergeants or generals underneath him who had been involved in the original attack to get him to shut up.
One of his lieutenants, yeah,
Correct.
who
He
was
killed
the
him.
expert on the
Now that was the
mule
whole point of this whole
people.
movie. That's something that you all maybe might have missed because you didn't see most of the movie. What occurred is the whole reason why all these missions happened in the first place and why this mission was happening was he was trying to eliminate this race so there'd be no witnesses and no evidence to throw against him. That's why they went originally to get this animal. It wasn't because they wanted the animal; they wanted the animal destroyed. They didn't want this animal to have a chance to be replicating anything for these people. Then they were supposed to go and destroy these people who were living in this dead zone.
The animal they refer to as
Right.
the converter,
The converter, correct?
even though it's
But
a
all-
replicator.
Oh, I know the part that we missed.
What?
Remember how they all ended up in that ship? And then they ended up in a junk pile, and then eventually they ended up on the planet, on the space station. That's how they got to the space station. A junker.
Oh, they did explain that, right?
Yeah.
Well, that was kind of towards the end, though. But yeah,
Yeah.
But they did. There's a whole other scene where they kind of explained like how they got from their planet. They had hidden themselves in this fallen spacecraft when their world was blowing up. That threw them into space. They were able to put it back to life to fix it.
Yeah, they created beauty out
and
of
then
it.
they were, and then in this ship that was floating around in space was taken by a junk harvester that was brought back to the
Alpha Station.
Alpha Station, which was the original international station that they had built originally.
Right.
And then that's when they lived there secretly this whole time doing all these things.
Yes.
So at the end, the major and the sergeant confront the guy, try to get him to confess, and he refuses to confess, but everyone still knows that he did it. He sends his soldiers in to kill everyone. And his robot soldiers actually turn on the human soldiers because they have directive to kill these alien race no matter what. So they're killing the good guys and the quote-unquote bad guys, even though they're not bad guys. And
Yeah, I thought that those robot soldier things were underutilized in the movie.
well, they were just there to the end because they had a final directive to eliminate everybody.
Yeah, they could have very stormtroopered those guys, and they didn't. You know what I mean?
I don't know what you mean by that.
They weren't primary in the movie. They were only in a few scenes.
But that was the point. They kind of introduced them. It was inferred that they were to follow the directives no matter what. And then when the time came for it, they did follow the directives, and they were going to kill the soldiers, everybody, to cover up for this heinous, murderous crime that this guy had done. But it turns out that in the end, that this alien race is able to get in their spaceships that they had built secretly in this dead zone. They're able to fly away and go away, and then the commander is tied up and left to be found, so they can then charge him for the crime that he's done. And the two other people, the sergeant and the major, Valerian and Laureline, get into a spacecraft that they're dropped off later out somewhere in space so they can get to their happy go place and see the beaches or whatever, and everyone lives happily ever after.
Yeah, no, I missed how they built their world back.
With their spaceship.
So they're just in their spaceship, And their world is a virtual reality.
Well, it
of their world?
appears that what they were casting was their world, but it was almost like cast. Like the energy created it, but it only created a hologram or dimension of it.
Right,
but,
a hologram, a virtual world.
to show you what their world was.
Right.
And then they got into their ship to go fly to maybe make a new world. Because they said that the ability that they had with this ship would actually help them create their world.
Oh, okay. So the beaches that they were on at the end were the hologram.
Correct, but they
It
will be
wasn't-
replicated eventually.
Right. Okay. So
if you're not confused by that wonderful description, then you're a genius because that was absolutely terrible. But, my goodness gracious.
What so are we gonna rate this now?
Oh, yeah.
Each
Oh
each
yeah.
of it? Okay.
So I'll go first.
Okay.
I on a scale of 4.
Yeah.
Going into the movie, if I thought the movie was going to be great, I would have been completely disappointed. Not completely, but I would have been disappointed. And I would probably give it a lower rating. But going into it, what I knew about the movie and about the reviews I'd heard and the talk about it, I didn't have high hopes. And it pretty much played out on that level. So because of that, I am going to give it a 2. Because I did like the special effects. The concept was interesting. Characters were okay. So I'm going to give it a 2. Scott?
Yeah, I give it 2 luscious eyebrows.
Wow.
Okay.
John?
Okay, I have a bit of a sliding scale. Because I only did get to see a half hour of it due to my lack of consciousness. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to say the visuals looked really cool from what I saw, even if they were not for my taste. But keep in mind, it's a French comic book called Valerian and Lorelei is the name of it. And before I didn't get a chance to say this movie can't lose money. It was backed and paid for completely with foreign investments by the French government. So it's opening in France this weekend. France it's going to be huge. It's going to do. I bet you this does 300-400 million easy worldwide. It opened small in America. That's because we don't know the property, and this stuff flies overseas a lot better than it does here. Now, out of the 4 stars, I'm going to give this a 2.5. I'm going to give it 1 just for being different, because we don't get enough of that. Another star for I'm a half a star for the visuals, a half a star for the wonderful seat that put me to sleep like a little baby, because I slept so well. 90 minutes just flew by. I can't, if you need a nap, the Barrington Theater out here, it's fantastic. And then, and it does get the Wahlberg bump for not having Mark Wahlberg in it.
There you
So it's a 2.5 star for me.
Nice. Chris?
No, wait. Can I just bring up something?
Sure, of course you can.
Her uniform, that suit that he crashed through, all that stuff, hers was spectacular, right? Like, she looks good in that space suit of hers, right?
Sure,
Piece of
yeah.
artificial
I never
boobies.
saw it.
It was like, Batman, when they had given him nipples, that sort of thing. It wasn't quite
Right.
nipples, but
Even
it was
though
like
there were no nipples
a very
in those
sexy
nipples.
type
Is
of...
voluptuous?
She went from, an A cup to a big C cup in that suit.
Could be.
Yeah,
Well, they
for
wanted to
sure.
get a room
Medium
to move
C,
in case
yeah.
you
Yeah,
needed
right.
it.
She needed it.
Alrighty. So, Chris, so we've got 2. We've got, how many stars did you give it, Scott?
Oh, I gave it 2 luscious eyebrows.
And you gave it 2.5. And Chris, last but not least.
1.5.
Really?
It was horrible.
And he watched the whole thing. He didn't fall
Well,
asleep.
he did, actually, I think.
Oh,
A
he
little
fell
bit.
asleep too?
No, I did not. At the very end, I started nodding off when it was the happy ending, and you could see it. You know what I mean? I nodded for like 1 second and lifted my head right back up.
Now, I want to clarify something. We didn't fall asleep because it lacked movement and action. The movie
Very
did
good. That's
keep
fair. That's fair.
going.
Yeah, it's just that some people were tired for various reasons.
Some of us were stoned.
Like the Energizer Bunny in a circle and kept
stoned
going.
out of our gourd on,
Yeah.
on wonderful pain medication.
Legal
And
cosmetic drugs, I want to add.
I am
not-
officially been up 24 hours right now.
Yes, so it is a reason why they were falling asleep. It wasn't the movie was slow or
It was.
We
slow.
saw this
I-
movie
I
at
actually looked for-
10:45 in the
10:45
morning. And I had already worked 14 hours that day before we got there.
And
Right.
you know, I was hallucinating for some of it that I remember, and it was a good time. I can't wait to hallucinate for the whole thing in one sitting. I really would. This is one of those movies where like, yeah, I'd go see this again if somebody wanted to see it, because I really would like to see what I missed.
Well, you actually want to see it for the first time.
Well, really for the first time.
Well, I don't think the movie lacks like creativity and visual. I think it's great. I think it's I think it's up there with Guardians of the Galaxy.
If
and
you're
the
someone
spectral
who is
color.
grounded in science
But
or engineering, this
Guardian-
is not your movie.
Okay, but Guardians of the Galaxy is a much better movie. But this one has the same color.
I'm gonna say the first Guardians is great. The second
Yes.
one I didn't like.
The first 15 minutes of the second one was great.
Actually, the opening kind of sucked. Of Guardians of the Galaxy. It
with
looked like
Groot-
they chinsed on the CGI.
Dude, that
Yeah, it did
dance
seem like they
was
did,
awesome.
didn't it?
Yeah. So I think that's going to do it for this episode.
Oh, hang on.
Uh-oh,
For
crap.
Clive Owen, in his defense, he is worth $30 million. After he's done this Valerian movie, he's also doing Ophelia, Anan, and 3 Seconds, 3 other films. So his career is doing pretty spectacular.
In the scheme of actors, $30 million ain't that much money.
That's not bad.
I mean,
Well,
for
he's
us,
an English
that would
actor
be
who normally lives in
awesome.
England.
30 million for
so-
how many movies?
Yeah, I think like Jim Carrey
He
makes
does
30
more on
million
stage.
more a
Shit
movie.
now.
Hang on. He does
Jim Carrey
more
doesn't
on
even make movies
stage
anymore.
and more
He doesn't
overseas
need to. He made 30
in
million
theaters.
a movie
22 was the
and
highest he got
television
paid.
overseas than he does here
For
in the
cable
States.
man.
for
Right.
Cable Man. Also,
Is anybody listening to Chris?
No, sorry, we missed it.
He's in like 30 or 40 movies starting from 1987. He's,
Okay.
yeah, he's
He
got a
does
career.
most of
He's got a
his
career. He's an actor.
he does most of his work overseas on stage
Well, that's
and
where he
TV
started, yeah.
more than he
He's
does here in
He's English,
American
that's what they do.
cinema.
Anyway, just one more time, I want to thank everyone. Just because I got Scott here. Scott was one of the people that donated to helping me out, and it means a lot. And thank you, Scott.
You're welcome, Johnny.
you're-
Anytime.
Anytime.
Yeah, anytime.
Now's the time.
That's a good time.
I know it is. I know.
Yeah.
I'm working on it. I got people I'm talking to. We're
Seriously,
getting there.
seriously though, it's really important to me that people understand how grateful I am for everything.
No,
So-
and we know, John.
Thank you. I just
Yeah.
want to say thank you one more time.
Yeah. And in John's defense, John is a really good guy. We need some help.
Why do I need a defense?
You know,
What crime
he's
have you
been through
committed,
hell
John?
For the last 25 years.
Well, I
We
mean, there was
gotta
the
get him
5
through
months
this.
I hung out with Bill Cosby, and we don't talk about that.
Well, before that was
You were
Michael
drinking
Jackson.
the
Before
purple
yeah,
drink.
yeah, the 80s and 90s were a blur. I was doing overnights at the Jackson compound and hanging out with Bill Cosby.
You shared a bunk bed with Macaulay
Macaulay Culkin.
Culkin.
Okay, yeah, I mean, pudding pops.
Corey.
Pudding pop.
Corey
Can't
Feldman.
even, I can't even look at a pudding pop without getting chills down my spine.
Pudding Pops
It's not
is
the only
his
place.
trigger now. That bad place.
Alrighty, before we go any further,
Oh,
let's end this now. So thank you, everyone.
Allegedly.
Yes, allegedly. Allegedly. We should probably learn to bookend that beginning and end.
Yeah.
First word and last word will be allegedly. So that'll be happening going
You're
Maybe
forward.
we
on
should
there.
just do Pudding Pop as the last word.
No, that's your safe word.
The safe word is pudding pop.
Okay, we're gonna end this. So thank
Thank you.
you for anyone who's watching this. Appreciate it. Comment, like, subscribe, and we'll be doing another one again, probably in the near future. Maybe Dark Tower or something sometime soon. I guess.
yeah.
So with that, see ya.
Bye. Thank you.
See ya.